I wanted to share some of my goal setting, some of my aspirations, some of my tactics and plans for how I do this. I am a very big believer in goal setting, and we'll get into why a little bit in this video as well. But I wanted to start with this slide right here, SMART goals. What are SMART goals? You hear people talk about SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Basically, what this comes down to is you say, I want to lose weight. That is a terrible goal. Number one, you have no number to go for. Number two, you have no time frame to do it. Is losing weight a good goal? Maybe it's good to have that goal, but if you just use the sort of fluffy language that I want to lose weight, it'll never happen because, okay, I'm 214 pounds right now. I want to lose weight. If I lose 1 pound and get to 213 pounds, I've lost weight. It's not going to make a meaningful difference in my life. So setting these things, these goals, as far as numbers are concerned, as far as timeliness is concerned, as far as something that is achievable and realistic is concerned, is it so for me, one of my goals that I can talk about ahead of time is that I want to break under 200 pounds. I want to get back under 200 pounds. Right now, that means losing 15 pounds. That is specific. It is measurable. It is 15 pounds that I want to lose, and increments along the way are something that I can measure. It is achievable. 15 pounds, and the last part is in 2024. It is achievable to lose 15 pounds over 12 months. That is a little bit more than a pound per month. And it is realistic because I have all of the tools necessary to do it. I can exercise, I can change my diet, I can improve my sleep, all of these things. That is what SMART goals come down to. Another one, if I were to say I'm a creative type, I like to write. If I were to say I want to write more, terrible goal. Write more than what? Write more than I wrote last year? What did I write last year? Do I want to, if I want to write more than nothing, then that's achievable, right? It's also, you'll find as you do these, as you set goals like this, that it is bad to set goals like write 500 words a day. Why is that a bad goal? It's very specific, it's time measurable, because there's 31 days in January. If I set the goal for January to write 500 words a day, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the 3rd of January comes and I screw up, now my goal is shot for the entire month. But if I say I want to write 20,000 words in the month of January, I miss Wednesday, the 3rd, I can come back roaring on the 4th with doubling up that work. So that is averages work as well. I want to average 500 words a day. That's one thing I've got in here. So that is what SMART goals are. I try to work in the confines of SMART goals as often as possible. Why do I believe in SMART goals? Why do I believe in goal setting? Goal performance relationship. This is stolen directly from Wikipedia. Locke and colleagues, 1981, examined the behavioral effects of goal setting, concluding that 90% of laboratory and field studies involving specific and challenging goals led to higher performance than did easy or no goals. This is because if an individual is intrinsically motivated by a goal, they will want to conquer the goal to receive internal rewards, and be satisfied because of it. Locke and Latham, 2006, argue that it is not sufficient to urge employees to, quote, do their best. That's not measurable. Doing one's best has no external reference, which makes it useless in eliciting specific behavior. I want to lose weight. I want to do my best. That's why those are terrible goals. To elicit some specific form of behavior from another person, it is important that this person has a clear view of what is expected of them. A goal is thereby of vital importance because it helps an individual to focus their efforts in a specified direction. In other words, goals canalize behavior. However, when faced with complex tasks and directions that are difficult to specify, telling someone to, quote, do their best, end quote, with a focus on learning can sometimes lead to this discovery of better strategies whereby specific goals can be set. Pardon me. A solution to this apparent contradiction is where the do your best condition can lead to a greater task performance than a high specific performance goal under certain conditions is resolved when task complexity is taken into account. Specifically, in a complex task where the prerequisite skills and knowledge to perform the task are not yet in place to do your best, condition can outperform the performance in goal condition. Basically, meaning if you do not know the exact apparatus by which success is attained, then you can get paralysis by analysis unless an authority says, just do your best. Then it takes the pressure off, and you can get further than if that paralysis by analysis sets in. If a high specific learning goal is set instead, then the goal performance relationship is maintained, and the learning goal setting condition outperforms the do your best condition. This is Bigfoot. It's very important. Bigfoot has the same problem as toothbrush. One would imagine that a creature, a Bigfoot, would indeed have two big feet. Otherwise, he would simply be hobbling around in circles all day. This picture was taken in Mississippi. The problem with the phrase toothbrush is that it's meant to brush multiple teeth. It should be called a teeth brush. Bigfoot should be called a big feet. Now, my 2024 mission, and I think it's important to have a mission, is to make 2024 the most productive year of my life. Now, that is not a SMART goal, but it's a mission statement. It is possible to break this down further. It is possible to make this more of a SMART goal type thing. To me, the mission statement is more of a motivational type deal. So to say my mission is to make 2024 the most productive year of my life, I have all sorts of fronts on which I am to attack that mission. As a writer, as a YouTube creator, as a reader, in physical fitness, all of these different things that I can attack on a daily basis. It's not helping me on a tactical time or on a tactical frame rate to say I want to make this the most productive year of my life. But without breaking it down into granularity, I am able to, so the goals themselves will break the mission down into granularity. I think that there are 3 levels to goal setting. There's the mission, there's the strategy, and there's the tactic. I want to make 2024 the most productive year of my life. That's the mission. The strategy is by breaking this down into different components, such as physical fitness, for example. To make 2024 strategically the most productive year of my life would mean losing more weight, would mean getting more miles on my feet, would mean doing more lifts. There's strategy involved in there. The tactics would be the tactics are the the granular ways in which we do things. So the tactic to getting more miles would be I'm walking directly after work every day. That is the tactic to get the strategy of walking more miles to comply with the mission of making 2024 the most productive year of my life. Now, prohibitions. No more alcohol. I did not touch alcohol for a good 2.5 years. Probably when I was in my mid to late 20s, early 30s, probably could have been referred to as an alcoholic, and it would have been true. Led to a lot of problems for me, led to a lot of lost evenings, right? You get drunk and you're maybe not as useful for things as you would like to be. Sort of the opposite with writing. This is why so many creative types fall into the trap of alcohol. Alcohol relieves your inhibitions, right? So here's the theory I have. So much of us, so much of the human experience is right here, right? This is from here, our frontal lobe, telling us why we're bad people, telling us why we shouldn't do things, reasoning into the things that we do want to do. There's a whole lot of this that says, you're an idiot. You're not good at writing. You shouldn't do that. None of those stories are worth having written. But all of this part of the brain back here, I really do think that's where the writing comes from. But it's this part of your brain, the frontal lobe, that is talking you out of doing it. Alcohol shuts that part of the brain up, and you get to be just lizard brain on the page. I need to figure out how to tap into that more effectively without alcohol. I started doing 1 case of beer in the summer a couple years ago. Last year, I had a couple different cases of beer. This year, I was doing a case of beer per month. I got to stop that. I got to do something different. So the prohibition for me is no more alcohol, no alcohol in 2024. Prohibitions are not great motivators. They are not great ways to set goals. This is a fail-safe for me. This is something I have to do. I have to cut out the alcohol. Now, we will start with goals for this channel. A couple years ago, I started a Daily Stoic series. I did not finish the Daily Stoic series. I cannot find my Daily Stoic book, but I'm going to. I know I still have it. So I will be doing number 2 there. 52-part series on the Daily Stoic. I am going to pick one of the dailies per week to talk about on the channel. I am also going to be doing that with the Daily Laws from Robert Greene. If you are not familiar with Robert Greene, this is not John Green. Very different writers. If you pick up a Robert Greene book expecting, looking for Alaska, you're going to be very disappointed. It's going to slap you in the face. Robert Greene is a very powerful writer. 33 Strategies of War, Mastery, something Laws of Power, the 50th Law written with 50 Cent. I am expecting nothing short of absolute life-changing material out of this book. If you have it, so first off, I need to say this. If you're setting goals, if you're setting a mission statement, feel free to leave those in the comments section, and we will hold each other accountable. I am very much looking forward to that with this video. If you have any goals you are comfortable with sharing in the comments section below. This book, I am expecting to be nothing short of life-changing. So That is everything I've had from Robert Greene, everything I've read from Robert Greene, all of the audiobooks I've listened to from Robert Greene. Just fantastic stuff. So I am looking forward to that. If you want to read along with that series, I don't think it's necessary for either of these books to actually have the books to follow along with the series, but I think that it would be beneficial to you to have these books. I think it's beneficial to me to have these books. These are books that I believe in very much, even if I do sometimes fall off the wagon when I am creating series. Now, number 3 here for this channel, 5 video essays. I want to do more video essays. I am gaining a little bit of skill with editing from my experience on Strip Cover Lit. If you don't know, if you were here but not there, Strip Cover Lit is my literature channel. It is where I talk about poetry, short stories, novels, etc. I am doing a lot more editing intensive stuff over there, and it is paying off from a skills building, skills accruing mindset. And I think it's going to help me with some of the video essays that I want to do. There's one I want to do on the American Dream. There's one I want to do on the American Dark Age. There's one I want to do. There's so many I want to do. It just depends on what kind of time I am able to find for myself in the new year. I want to get back to doing monthly goal videos. This helps me keep myself accountable. I've heard from several people that and it helps for me too to watch other people's, but I've heard from several people that watching someone keep themselves accountable in that way helps motivate them as well. So if there's something to that series, I want to keep doing it as well. There are the original reasons for this channel. I had originally started this channel to do movie reviews. I've gotten away from that because I've stopped watching movies, but I want to get back and do 3 movie reviews this year. I don't think they're going to be on contemporary things. I haven't been to the movie theater since 2019, so I think they're probably going to be older movies that I'll review, and 3 movie essays. So, for example, there is a very deep irony to the Black Widow movie from Marvel, and it is the expendability of men. And I have a video essay in mind for that. It is a cruel irony to that movie that I don't think they intended to be in there, but it was written so ham-fistedly that it's one of the most obvious things in the movie if you just take a step back and look at it. I want to do 3 cultural videos this year. What does cultural video mean? It's kind of like pornography. I don't know how to say it, but I can point it out when I see it, right? So the cultural videos, I think there was the Richmond, north of Richmond video I did that was a cultural video. I consider that a cultural video. The walkaway videos that were leaving the left, right? I think those are cultural videos. I want to do more cultural videos, at least 3. That's 1 every 4 months. And I want to restart the Da Vinci series that I started on the channel. Walter Isaacson, Da Vinci. So I have that down there. I want to... The problem with that is that it's so strangely formatted that it is difficult to really... get a sense of how to format a series on the book. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do there, but I would like to get back to that. I think that biographies are something that I have sorely missed in my reading the past few years. I want to ideate 3 new series. This is, 3 things I want to do on the channel, right? 3 new playlists that I want to make on the channel. And the most selfish goal that I have for any of my channels, for any of my anythings, get monetized. Now, I need about 3,000 hours of watch time. So I got to stick to this if I'm going to get here. So root for me if you would. Strip Cover Lit, see above. Yesterday, I made a video on Strip Cover Lit, all of my goals for that channel. Channel level goals, daily uploads through 300 videos, poetry discussion goals, 171 poetry discussions, short story discussion goals, 43 videos, novels. I want to do The Great Gatsby, Carrie, It, finish the Holly read along. It's an awful novel. Finish the Christmas Carol stuff. Do 50 Shades of Grey, Hamlet, We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson, and then series. There's a couple series there I want to start. But those are the goals for the channels now. So both of those, if I do both of those would be the most productive years in either of these channels' histories. Now, education/reading. If I can average 28 pages per day, that's 10,000 pages on the year. So these really 20 books, 2 biographies, 2 collections of poetry, 10 novels, 2 Robert Greene novels, read a hauntology book, read a nihilism book. None of that is going to make a dent in 10,000 pages of reading in a specific year. So there's going to be a whole lot of reading on the channel and a whole lot of reading on Strip Cover Lit, a whole lot of reading in my personal life. These books are basically a page a day. So presenting that on the channel is going to help me as well. After that, I want to learn 100 words. And I don't want to just know a word. I want to know 100 more words and be able to use them in sentences. I have a preliminary list of words that I kind of tertiarily know, that I can kind of use in sentences, but I want to really have it down to where I know the word so well that I can bend it and use it in a way that it is not. I want to know these words so well that I can use them in circumstance where they are not designed to be used, but instead of misusing the word, I am wrapping the language around the word, if that makes any sense. And learn 100 paintings. I just screwed that up. I love paintings. I used to know hundreds of paintings by name. No longer do I. I just screwed everything up. So I want to get back into learning that. Maybe, that'd be a good one. One of these series I could do on this channel is looking at paintings. Fitness goals. Now, I got to change this. I am on pace to walk 1,700 miles in the calendar year 2023. Walk/run. Not as many of them run as I would like or probably need to if I'm going to reach my weight goals. But I'm going to hit 1,700 miles this year if all things go well tomorrow. Tomorrow is my New Year's Eve. I'm still on my day before New Year's Eve because I work overnights. So I want to get 1,701 miles, including 366 miles running. It is a leap year. So there's an extra day involved, which maybe I should reset that 1,701 because I got an extra crack at it. Anyway, doesn't matter. 1,701 miles, 366 miles running. That is going to take some tactical type stuff. Last year, 2023, January, February, and March, I did a terrible job on the walking front. I just kind of fell off. Normally, actually, for me, October, November, December, and January are kind of hibernation months. I am kind of a bear, for lack of a less specific term, if you are familiar with the pop culture term. Anyway, I kind of fall off during those 4 months. and hit it hard after that. I have to get over that. I have to do better than that if I am going to break out of what it is, the ruts into which I have fallen in my life. I want to bench press 350 pounds, not the most I've ever bench pressed. I bench pressed 365, I think, is the most I've ever bench pressed. But it's getting up there, right? I want to deadlift 400. I think I've deadlifted more than 400 before. I want to squat 365. I think that's a pretty good number for an old man. I want to do a set of 15 pull-ups. I can do 2 pull-ups right now consecutively. I want to do a set of 50 dips. This past summer, when I was doing all of my exercise and stuff, I was getting 4 sets of 25 dips per day. So it's a lot of dips. It's a lot of consecutive dips, but I never did more than the 25. 50 dips consecutively is a lot of dips. Again, here's those goals. I want to break under. Oh, that is the wrong. How did I do that? That's in the wrong place there. That's in the next goal. Anyway, I want to break under 200 pounds and I want to start trying to gain weight. Once I break under 200 pounds, I will be back into trying to gain muscle. So hopefully I get there this year. Moving forward there. Financial goals. Earn more money than ever. I have a number in mind, but I am not sure exactly how I'm going to get there. It is an audacious type of number for the amount of money that I make, but I have tactics involved, including find 2 new investments. You can make money from investments without ever selling them. Make 12 investments once per month. I want to invest in the stock market, invest in 4 new companies. And what the hell just happened? I think part of my ceiling just fell. Make 12 new investments, invest in 4 new companies. Now, here's the thing. This seems like it is, these two seem like they contradict each other. But I have a list of about 12 companies I want to invest in, but I am not into which I am not currently invested. Finding 2 more of them and then eliminating 4 of those names, not going to fill out the positions, but eliminating 4 of those names is a starting point for that. Now, had to cut the video. My editor only goes for 30 minutes, and I was going to get lost in talking about something because moving on to 10 ounces of silver. Now, as a crusty old white guy, my experience in being a crusty old white guy and becoming a crusty old white guy says that there's one thing crusty old white guys love, and it's precious metals. So I want to get 10 more ounces of silver, and I want to buy some type of gold. These are things that are basically apocalyptic type financial decisions. If the dollar crashes, etc. But not necessarily that, because basically they are a hedge against inflation. And Bubba, inflation has been nasty. So this is a dime. This is a new dime, which means it's made out of nothing valuable. But prior to 1965, 1964 and before, dimes were made out of 90% silver. In 1964, thereabouts, you could take your truck and a dime to the gas station and get a gallon of gas. In the time since, your dime can buy no gasoline, right? Your dime, you take your truck and your dime to the gas station, that dime does not get you very far. However, that 90% silver dime is still worth like $1.50. So while and whereas it has not kept up with inflation precisely, it's done a much better job of catching up with or keeping up with inflation than the fiat currency. Now those are crusty old white guy terms, but having something. So basically, here's the thing: in case of absolute apocalypse, in case of civilizational collapse, the only metal that will be precious is lead. So everybody who does do the precious metals thing can say that it's for the apocalypse. It's not. It's for a bad time. It's not for the apocalypse. It's for inflation. Now, I've known guys who did collect the precious metal of lead. Scary individuals. I want to find another part-time job just for the experience of doing it. I want to get into the gig economy just for the experience of doing it. What does the gig economy mean? Uber is the gig economy. DoorDash is the gig economy. Being someone hiring you out to edit their videos is the gig economy, something like that, just to experience it. I want to have 100 hours of overtime. Basically, what that comes down to is one shift of 8 hours of overtime per month. It's like 8.33 hours of overtime per month, but basically pick up one day of overtime each month. And I want to start saving for that sweet, sweet Cybertruck that someday Uncle Adrian's going to get. And this was a financial goal that somehow found its way up onto the fitness goals. Collect $1,000 in dividends. It's actually tougher than it sounds. Now, I have an about face to do. I have a little bit of mea culpa. I have a little bit of an admission to make here. I have referred to my personal life several times on the channel and on Strip Coverlet as having a full-time job and a part-time job. Now, while at times that has been true, I am also referring to my YouTube stuff as a part-time job. I run this channel. I run Strip Coverlet, and I run 2 other channels that are faceless and will never be mentioned anywhere on the internet. It is important to me to build success independently. And those faceless channels have absolutely nothing to do with anything mentioned here. So they're not really overlapping magisteria, if you will. But I want to average. So for the past 9 months, I have made 2 videos and posted 2 videos every day. I want to average 3.1 videos, which would be 1,132 videos made in the calendar year. I can do that. I can do that and walk, and run, and lift, and read. I'm not going to have a social life. Who needs one? Who needs people? I don't have them now. So this that you're watching right now is channel 2. Channel 1 is Strip Cover Lit. I want to monetize channel 2, this channel. Channel 3 is monetized. Channel 3 makes a lot more money than Strip Cover Lit. I want channel 4 to be monetized. I want to launch 2 new channels. I want to get Strip Cover Lit to 14,000 subscribers. It's currently at 12,551, I believe. I want to get this channel to 2,000 subscribers. I want to get channel 3 to 5,500 subscribers, which is 1,200 subscribers away from where it is right now. And I want to get channel 4 to 1,000 subscribers. I want to ideate 5 new channels. There's about 40 different channels I want to create, guys. If I had my little way, I'd eat peaches every day and make YouTube videos. I want to get better at editing, which is a terrible goal, not because I shouldn't be better at editing, but because that's not a smart goal. And so what does getting better at editing mean? If I learn one trick, I'm better at editing. If I learn one time-saving hack, I'm better at editing. If I just buy a better editing software, I'm better at editing. And I want to get a better microphone. And finally, so over the last 9 months, I have created 2 videos per day. One of my channels goes daily uploads. I've done daily uploads for 10 consecutive months. So if I can make this year the most productive of my life by increasing those numbers, I think I'll make an actual appreciable dent in making an impact on literature, philosophy, what the other channels do, right? So all of the YouTube stuff in one year. If I can do that all in 1 year, that will be a year having been worth being lived. I absolutely, disgustingly collapsed as a writer this year. In 2022, I wrote a novel starting in November 2021. I wrote it by hand. I still have not typed it up. I finished it December-ish of 2022. Then I went into writing furiously, writing short stories at the beginning of this year, and just kind of fell off. I want to make this the most productive year of my life. That is going to be difficult because I have had some pretty productive years in writing. But if I can finish one novel guys, I've got like 6 novels I need to write. I can finish one of them this year. If I can finish one short story per month, one flash fiction per month, and 2 poems per month, that's going to be a pretty good year. The other years that I had that were probably more voluminous than this year, than the year I have planned here, I did not have any novels. Novels are murder for me for some reason. I want to average 500 words a day. If I average 500 words a day, I'll get there. Having a streak of 100 days writing consecutively does not sound like a lot. It is very, very easy to fall off the wagon. I have an idea for Strip Cover Lit of a product, if you will. Much like the Daily Laws, much like the Daily Stoic, I want to create the Daily Literature. So it is a very specific thing that I have in mind. I want to get 100 days into that. I want to ideate one more novel and have some notes on it. I want to type up the novel that I wrote in 2022 and simply revolutionize literature. Now, again, it's a pretty terrible goal. It's not measurable. This is how I set goals. One of the things that is difficult is getting started every day. For that, one trick that helps me, and I'll go ahead and try to do this while we're talking, I will do what I call a power hour. What does that mean? What does that look like? It just depends on what you're working on. So if I'm working on a strip cover lit video, and I'm working on a video for this channel, and I'm working on my 500 words on the day, and I'm working on my 28 pages of reading for the day, what I will do is I will put 15 minutes strip cover lit video, 15 minutes this channel video, 15 minutes writing, 15 minutes reading. It's not a lot. It's not a whole lot of work in any one direction in particular. You're not going to get a whole lot done on a video if you work on it for 15 minutes. You're not going to get hardly any of your reading done by working on it for 15 minutes. But breaking it up like that eases the pressure from starting, and it gets you a little bit of progress in all of those directions. So when you get this paralysis by analysis, don't set specific goals for the power hour. Just say, I'm going to bring up my work on the strip coverlet video for 15 minutes. And if I don't touch it, I don't touch it. But I've got it up. Because what will always happen, is those juices get flowing and you start thinking about things even once you have moved on from it. The utility of the power hour is that maybe you can't work on something for 15 minutes right now. If you find yourself in the place where you have all of these goals, and maybe they're not really achievable or realistic right now, the A and the R in the SMART goals, because you have no discipline. Doing the power hour by 15 minutes is not necessary. In fact, once I build up this sort of muscles to the power hour, I'll do it in half-hour spurts, and I'll do a power double hour, right? It allows you to get into a little bit deeper work, and eventually you don't have to use them at all. But if you're in the place where you can't do 15 minutes of work, and we all get there sometimes, guys, working on your own life is one of the most difficult things to do because there's no one telling you how to get there. So maybe you want to write, maybe you want to read, maybe you want to exercise, okay? Here's how you do it. You break it down to 5 minutes. 5 minutes reading, maybe that's just a single page. 5 minutes free. 5 minutes where you're not working on anything. You just sit there. Pick your nose, pick your butt, it doesn't matter. You're not accountable for anything. 5 minutes writing. 5 minutes free. 5 minutes let's just say push-ups. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 5 min free. That's a half an hour. You have done 5 minutes of everything productive that you want to do. You just haven't done a whole lot in any one direction. And if you don't have the discipline to not look at Twitter, you don't have the discipline to not hit that next YouTube video, you don't have the discipline to not just get up and find yourself something to eat, not get up and whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that keeps you from living your life the most you that you want to be, you do it here. You do it here. And you do it here. And here's a promise I'll make you. If you schedule screwing around into your power hour, guys, you're like 45 minutes away from realizing what an idiot you are. Every time I do this, like 45 minutes in, when I'm doing those 5 minutes of free time where I'll just vegetate and be a couch potato, you're 45 minutes into an hour, you've done 20 minutes of work and 25 minutes of nothing, and you realize how much time you waste. And it's not, I mean, don't feel bad about it. I mean, you should feel bad about it a little bit, right? Because, and I don't mean you as in accusatory, I mean you as in all of us. I do this. You realize how much time you waste and how much more productive you could be, how much more successful you could be at all of the things you want to do if you just quit being a couch potato sometimes, and scheduling couch potato time helps you realize being a couch potato ain't all that great. Helps you realize the other things that you could be doing, how much more efficient you can be with your time, things like that. In fact, I have to get back to this because on my days off, I work overnights. I complain about it a lot, I know. My days off, I crash. I sleep about 4 hours a day during the work week. because it just can't sleep. It makes me more inefficient when I am awake, and it means I crash on my days off. So if I can find a way to not do that, wake up and immediately get into productivity, even if it's a pathetic 5 and 5 power hour. 5 minutes of work, 5 minutes of vegetating. Even if I can do that, I'll start my days earlier. So, and it's about, I think there's a lot to be said about being humble, about humility, maybe even about humiliating yourself. When I get in that place where I have to use that power hour, that hurts, guys. Looking myself in the face and realizing that I can't do more than 5 minutes of work at a time. Looking myself in the face and realizing that I have to schedule 5 minutes to do screw all just to get that 5 minutes of juice going. You whip yourself into shape faster than you thought you could. And it's something that's been very powerful for me, very useful for me, and helps me keep motivated, helps me keep focused, really. But that's all I have. Again, I would love to hear about your goals in the comment section below. Join me on some of these trips, whether that's on Strip Cover Lit, whether that is the Daily Law, whether that is the Daily Stoic. I think that making 20... Look, everything has sucked since 2020, right? Being locked in your house for all that amount of time. And it sucked for a lot of people. And there's the meme going around right now, very popular, that is a picture of whatever his name is that played Oppenheimer. And it's saying, the meme caption is, "I haven't heard anyone say 2024 is going to be the year. It looks like you've learned," right? Cillian Murphy, whatever his name is. And there's something about that, isn't there? No one is saying 2024 will be the year. Maybe you've learned. Well, color me stupid, because I still think that I can make my life better each and every year. And I plan on making this the most productive year of my life. And look, there's always things that could pop up. There's always things that could derail you. You can't let the black pill win. When you let the black pill win, when you let the doom and gloom win, when you let the post-World War II strain of nihilism win, I'm not going to give in to Dr. Jordan Peterson talking about nihilism is all that bad. I have a lot of high hopes for nihilism, but when you don't let those invasive thoughts win, that what if this is the year I found out I have cancer, something like that. How much further will you be had you started this year working on the stuff that you want to accomplish with your life, regardless? What if this is the year the economy crashes? Well, what if it's not? What if it is, and you didn't spend the first 3 months of the year fortifying your life, fortifying your income, fortifying what it is that you are offering to the job economy? What if you don't do that with the first few months of the year? You will be in an even worse spot. So that's all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other people. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, consider hitting the subscribe button. You were this far into this video, you might as well stick around to see how things fill out. And hey, I hope to have you back for the next one, but don't forget to leave some of your goals in the comments below.